Welcome back. So today I am going to go ahead and begin talking about arrays. They're a common thing to be used in Bash and pretty much any other programming language out there. But you might notice that there is something different on my screen. There is a number 1 right on just before the first line begins, just before the first line of code. So if I press enter, 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 you see how my lines are numbered. Now this you can do by pressing escape, set number, or escape, set no number. Basically, you either want your lines to be numbered or you do not want your lines to be numbered. By the way, when you press colon like this, you can actually rotate between commands. So I would like to set the number. Also, you can specify the range of lines which are to be deleted, and in this manner you can clear the file of a script. So if I do, for example, this 2, 4D, that will delete everything in between 2 and 4. See, it just shortens the line, so it says 3 fewer lines. Or I can basically go ahead and specify the line from which I want to begin, and then state with a $sign to go to the end, and then use D as the delete command. There you go, I am now on a single line. Excellent. So now that we have that, it should make our code a bit more readable, as we are slowly starting to move into bigger and bigger scripts. So let's go ahead and take a look at the syntax of an array. If you type in var, and if you put brackets like this, and you can type in value here, basically this would be an array. Let's see that in practice. Let's see how that is used. So if I type in, I don't know, just var r array, and if I do this, if I say 0, meaning the first element, equals to 20, that means that the very first element of the array is equal to 20. Okay, and if I go ahead and say r1 is equal to 30, that means that the second element in the array is equal to 30 because the counting starts from 0. That's how the indexing works, so that the value of the first element is 20 and then the value of the second element is 30. Let's go ahead and type in echo. We're gonna need a -e for this. R0. Well, let's just cut it short and put it like this. R and then a 0. Yep, there we go. So let that be the first one. And we would like to go into the new line. And on the new line, we will print out the second one, meaning like this. R1. There we go. Let's just close the quote marks, write this, and let's go ahead and execute it. So you see that the first one is 20 and the second one is 30. We can modify the script a little bit like this, so we don't have this extra space down below. There you go. So it says 20 and 30. It's giving you the values of the first element and of the second element. I'll just balance this out. There we go. Also, array can be declared using a declare command, what we have seen before. So just as we have used it for other variables, you can go ahead and use it for this one as well. So declare and -a would stand for array, and r like this. I'm just using the name ARR as an array, but you can use pretty much whatever you want and name your variable. So now name your array. So now we have declared an array. The -a stands for array. Now we need to initialize the array. In order to do this, we need to go ahead and do this below. Type in ARR, which is the array that we have just declared, equals, and then just open up parentheses and type in the elements in the order. So it's going to go from the element 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, 10, 11, 12, doesn't matter. So we can type in, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Let's leave it at that. We do not need any more. And those would be now the elements. If you type in R, we can just go ahead and copy paste this. Oops, sorry. We can go ahead and copy paste this like Control Shift C. And let's just go into the new line. New line, and again new line. We don't need to print them all out, but hey. So let this be the element 2, this can be element 3, and this can be the element 4. Let's run this, and as you can see, it will be 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All of them are declared. Fairly simple. Another way of assigning elements to an array basically be the following. If you just delete this first, there we go. Type in ARR equals so let the first element, how shall we initialize this one? We can say first, and then we can say it's equals second. These will be strings, and I don't know, let's put it like this. And so 0, you don't need to initialize them in this particular order. Now you can initialize the 7th element of the array and state that you wish it to be equal to let's say 45. Doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and close the parentheses, and now we can go ahead and print this out. So we need these, these are not initialized, so we don't really need them. We just need 3 of them. This will be the 7th one. Okay, so let's run it, and you say it says first, second, and then it says 45. No big deal, should be fairly simple. Now it should be noted that Bash does allow array operations on variables. However, keep in mind that that array is then seen as an array of one single element. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is it exactly that I've just stated here. If I go ahead and delete this, I'm just going to leave A for the sake of simplicity, and I'm going to say that this equals to something 1, 2, 3. Now we shall echo out these, which is a pretty painstaking process to write this, but okay, no big deal. Probably should have copy pasted it. I should have copy pasted it because I'm doing the demo, but you should write it down so that you could remember better, as I have explained in the previous tutorials. Okay, so A shall be 0. Now you will see what these particular things will mean in a moment, but try to guess. Try to go in front of me. Don't be on par in terms of following me. Try to be a step ahead of me. In my opinion, that's one of the best ways to learn. However, it doesn't necessarily need to be, as I've just said. That's just my opinion. Okay, so A and at. Excellent. So now we are echoing out all these strange things. What on earth could they mean? Well, first of all, A is assigned a string, something 1, 2, 3. Now, this asterisk, what does it stand for usually? Isn't it a wildcard that stands for everything, like a joker in cards? Yes. This will list out all the elements of the array. So all of them will be listed out. SOMETHING. I know that this is just a variable and this is a string that is assigned to it, but it can be treated as an array. The next one, S0, well, this will list the first element of the array, which is S. That's what's going to be printed out to the screen. 1, again, this will list the second element of the array. And what do you think will be the difference between these two? Well, unlike the wildcard character, which actually takes this entire thing, doesn't actually take them one by one, that was a bit of an error on my end, which takes this whole thing and prints it out onto the screen. 0 will also take the whole thing and print it out to the screen because this is considered to be the first element, and A, which says 1, that is considered to be the second element, which is non-existent. It's not here. And the final one, it will actually print out the size of the array. How many elements are there in the array? How many elements do you think there are? So if 0 prints out one element and if 1 prints nothing, well, there's just one element, as you can see. It's just one string, which is part of it. It's actually just a variable, but we're treating it as an array. Okay, so, well, we are treating it in any case, not the machine. And there you go, it says something 1, 2, 3. Okay, wildcard replaces all, so something 1, 2, 3. Again, something 1, 2, 3 because it's 0. 1 prints out nothing because there is no second element. And the 9th line, which pretty much serves in order to give us the size of the array, well, that prints out 1. It only has one element, nothing else. Bash has adapted some commands and operators to suit array operations, depending on the Bash version, but hopefully you're using the latest one, the one that I'm using as well. And there is no reason why you should use the older ones, really. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the examples and see what happens. And now we can basically use the delete, so delete everything from the second line basically to the end. There you go. So that was simpler as opposed to just using the backspace. Let's go ahead and type in R equals, this is another way to go ahead and initialize it straight away. Make it and initialize it. So how shall we do this? I don't know, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. I'm keeping it as simple as possible. Echo out, and we shall echo out. Go ahead and echo out the first element. So went a bit messed up my notes, but okay, no big deal. So R, open up brackets, 0, close the curly ones. So as before, this will simply print out the first element, no big deal. Okay, let's try something different. Echo. I'm just showing you different variations of what you can do with an array, how you can get different outputs and information from it. Okay, so let's do a hash R, and this is going to be 0. What will this print out? This will print out the length of the first element. What is the length of the first element? Well, 1, 2, 3, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will print out 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and see another neat option. If we put hash here, R, and if we put a wildcard character here, what do you think that this will print out? Well, this will also print out the size of the array, pretty much. So no big deal. The same as the option which we have used with the @ sign. So I could have placed the I could have placed the @ sign here as well, but no, I placed wildcard character. It also works without any problems. And as you can see, the first element printed out 0. The size of the first element is 4, and the size of the array is 3, as you do indeed have 3 elements. Fairly simple, no problems there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the tutorial here, and then we'll continue on in the follow-up.